ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Griffiths, the founder of Verus Property Investments, and you're listening to the Entrepreneur's Journal. So firstly, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And in this episode, I want to touch on a few of the previous points I've mentioned and apply them within a more entrepreneurial context so that they're more useful to you. What we're going to be touching on is the journey from having an idea and having no experience whatsoever, nothing to imply that you could achieve your ambition and build a successful business. And then we will touch on the sort of character that you need when you're running this business and what you need to have to truly reach a peak that most individuals don't achieve. Now, when you're starting off, there's a lot of doubt about whether you're even the right person. What makes you think you're able to do such a task? Because currently you have no previous experience of this. So what makes you think that you can when there's no evidence that you can? And after all, most people that start businesses and reach a certain level of it, you could class them as being exceptional individuals. See, this insecurity, the solution I found to it is what I call, well, I don't call it, but Sui Generis. It's a Latin word that means of its own class. It is unique. It cannot be categorized with anything else. And you have to understand that as individuals, that's precisely what you are. It is only you that has your experiences. There is no one else like you. Take, for example, chirality. Right? Chirality is this concept that you cannot superimpose a image onto another one. So our hands, for example, are chiral, meaning they don't match up. You know, you have to invert them to get them to match. And human beings are chiral. You know, no one individual can properly line up to the other one. We all may have a lot of overlap, but we are distinctly unique. And if you are unique, you have your own experiences to call upon, and those experiences are not shared by anyone other than yourself. And within those one-off experiences that other individuals don't share with you, you are unique and have your own value to bring to the table. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is the reason why you could be the exception is because you already are. You have your own experiences to call upon to further yourself. And once you understand that, then you can start using the anxiety that you feel when you're starting off to actually further you hugely. And business owners that are already in the process can utilize this skill as well. You see, there will be many different tasks, depending on your experiences, that will trigger anxiety within you. I remember when I first was getting started, calling estate agents. I was awful at it. Just the idea of having to call that estate agent was just terrifying in a way. Not in a, I wouldn't admit that to myself, but it was. So I wouldn't call their estate agents. It would take me a week to call them. Now, you can use anxiety as this alarm bell that goes off. What you feel anxious about, it's not something to flee from and retreat from. It's a call to adventure. You see, would we not love a alarm that goes off every time when there's an opportunity for you to develop yourself, is that not a good idea? Well, we have that alarm bell. It is anxiety. And that anxiety announces to you, hey, there's this opportunity here. If you were to deal with this, tackle it, you'll actually become a greater individual of who you were. So you can use anxiety to further your own progress. So for example, there's a little line within the business world of something like kiss the frog. So the first task of the day is the one that you want to do the least, because that sets you in good stead for that day to keep on pushing those boundaries, because you've already done the task that you didn't want to do, that for whatever reason was just fear invoking for you. But if you get that out the way first thing, then you've already achieved a challenge, you've overcame it. That puts you in an amazing position to continue the day with that same momentum. The third aspect, within business, we do stress testing, specifically in the property world, but I would assume that it's used quite often across all the different industries. And a stress test is playing out hypothetical scenarios to see how the business would perform under those circumstances, so that you understand the risk and you can mitigate for it. But there's times when shit will just hit the fan. And another part of that is, well, there's a lot of business owners that go out of business. Their companies fail, or they've tried to run with this idea, it just didn't work out for them. And that can crush your confidence. You need to have the character to be able to endure those moments, because failure occurs, and the severity of it you may be able to mitigate. It may not be that severe. But in some cases, if you're unfortunate, everything will just crash terribly. And it is in those situations that you have to ask yourself, do you still have the character, the drive, the ambition to fail drastically and still keep on trying and pursuing? Because after all, to truly fail is to betray yourself, meaning to truly fail is to give up. The mantra I like for this is Amor Fati, a love of thy fate. Now, the chips, you have to allow them to fall where they may. It may mean that you lose business, you may lose clients, you may lose your biggest clients, whatever it may be. This hardship befalls you. But if you are an entrepreneur to the heart, then a failing company, failed companies shouldn't faze you, because it's the game in its entirety that you enjoy playing. It's what you enjoy doing. So remember Amor Fati. If the worst was to happen, see what you can learn from it. Appreciate it for what it is. Do not wish your life to be other than it is. And use those experiences to make more better informed decisions moving forward. That business has failed. You've got a deep experience there, unlike many other business owners, which will put you in a good stead where you are aware of the risks, so that when you start your next business, you are far better at coming up with contingencies and understanding the risk. Not only that, but if that second business was to fail, you already have that resilience to be able to persist regardless of those failures. So there's my few key takeaways. Sui Generis, to validate your hope that you can achieve your dream. Leveraging anxiety to announce to you opportunities to develop yourself further, to do what's truly impactful, and then Amor Fati to fall back on in those hardest of times, to keep on persisting and still remaining relatively calm within, so that you're able to have the clarity to execute your next plan, your next business with greater efficiency and effectiveness. Now, I hope this has been of value to you. I appreciate your time, and I would love for you to drop some tips to me about how entrepreneurs just getting started out can overcome some of the challenges that they are faced with, namely being the lack of experience and the imposter syndrome aspect of it. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please do. That's John Griffiths of Verus Property Investments, and I wish you a magnificent day, ladies and gents. Thank you, have a wonderful day, goodbye.